So at this point in the semester, a lot of students start getting nervous. The two-page papers up to this point have been a cinch, but you've been dreading having to figure out how to fill up all those pages for the longer paper. Don't worry, I will walk you through it starting right now with doing Invention for longer papers. So first we have to kind of figure out where we're starting though. And I recommend that you do this Pieces of Me worksheet for brainstorming. Fill in all of those pieces, and it will give you some ideas about the types of things you can write about. Once you have an option, you have to start somewhere, so pick one. For instance, I'm working with my identity as a teacher. Review the pieces of you that you discovered on that worksheet and select one to focus on. If you can't decide, try student. You can always change your mind later. Now create a list of moments when you felt that aspect of your identity strongly. If you're writing about being a football player, for instance, it might be when you made a really great play. If you're writing about being a mom, put yourself in a moment when your momness was very powerful and strong. That sort of thing. Put that in, make a list of a bunch of these if you can. Once you have one, choose one single moment. What we're going to do is sort of like the sensory snapshot invention activity from earlier in the semester. And you can even use with this activity. You can do the grounding experience with the five senses. But what I'd recommend, at least to start, is to use the journalistic questions as a way of jumping into the moment. So you put yourself into the moment that you have chosen, the story that you've chosen, put yourself there, and then look around you in that moment and begin noticing who, what, when, where, why, and how. So when you are looking at the who, things that you can ask yourself, how old are you? Because you're one of the who's. Who is with you? How do you feel about that person? What are you or they wearing? Those kinds of questions. Next, you can ask yourself what? What is happening? What are you doing? What can you see? Behind, beneath, above, beside, all directions. What's the temperature? And what do you smell? And what do you hear? This is where you can do some of the grounding. When? When does this scene take place? What's the date? What time of day is it? What time of year is it? Where are you? What's your geographical location? What does your location look like? Where were you before you arrived here? Why? Why are you here? Why is the action or conflict happening? Finally, how? How did you get here? And how did the events come about? If you want a more guided process through looking at the the journalistic questions, I really recommend Linda Berry's process called Writing the Unthinkable. It's what I use to adapt this activity. She has a video where she will walk you through the whole process. In that video, she has you think of cars as your main topic, but you can change it from cars to identity. And so I recommend doing that, and I will put some links on Moodle for you. And that's all I've got for you today. Happy inventing!